been quite some time since we shot videos with regard to the Stryker settlement, and a lot's happened, so it's time for an update. We have a lot more information now as to how this was going to work, and you really need to be brought up to speed. First and foremost, when we shot the last videos, all of our deadlines were ahead of us, and now some of those deadlines are behind us. What has already taken place? Well, first, we were required to register every single person that we had under contract on December the 16th, and that occurred. That didn't mean anybody was in the settlement or out of the settlement. It only meant that you were registered. The courts ordered that everybody who had a Stryker case under contract register with Garden City Group, who is the claims administrator. Then starting on January the 16th, we could start enrolling people. That's a big difference from registration. Enrollment means the plaintiff has been told about the settlement, educated about the settlement. The plaintiff has decided that they want into the settlement, and we actually file the papers with the Garden City Group necessary to enroll them in the program. Enrollment started January the 16th. It was supposed to stop on March the 2nd. That was the deadline. Unfortunately, everybody kind of got together and realized that we were overly aggressive. That period was way too short to get 4,000 people enrolled into the settlement. And so that deadline was extended 3 times. Ultimately, the final deadline was April the 24th of 2015, or just last Friday. That's a really important date because that means nobody else can enroll in the settlement. And why is that important? Because as you remember from originally when I shot the videos, Stryker has the ability, if they want to walk away from the settlement if 95% of those eligible to be in the deal, those people with revision surgeries, 95% of those eligible individuals don't enroll in the settlement program, or more than 5% opt out. I can tell you in our firm, we're right at that 5% number. About 5% of the cases that we represent have opted out of the deal. That means 95% have opted in. If our numbers are respective of the group, then this settlement's going to go through. If our numbers are not representative of the group and more than 5% have opted out on a global basis, then Stryker has the ability or the right to walk away. We just don't know if they're going to do that. It's going to largely depend upon how close, if we fall below 95%, how close we get to 95%, and then the ball's going to be in Stryker's corner. No predictions as to what they will or won't do if we don't reach 95%. We should know very soon whether Stryker is going to reach that 95% in this deal because enrollment is closed. There's some work that needs to be done. They won't know that answer immediately. There's some questions about who should be in the denominator. So it's going to take some time to figure that out. The walkaway deadline is June the 15th. If we know something before June the 15th, then we will let you know. But it could be as late as June the 15th before Stryker ultimately makes its decision whether they're going to go forward with the settlement or they're not going to go forward with the settlement. If we do reach 95% on a global basis enrolled, Stryker has no ability not to do the settlement. They don't have an option then. They have to go through with it. What's coming up and what are the next deadlines that are out in front of us? First is the walkaway deadline, June 15th. Starting shortly thereafter, if the settlement does go forward, we will begin to enroll people for their enhancements. Remember what we enrolled people for between January the 16th and just last Friday was for the base pay awards only. Starting in June, we will be able to start enrolling people for their enhanced awards. There is a formula for when Stryker must fund the base pay awards. The trigger for that deadline is the walkaway deadline. The best we can calculate it is about 26 days after the walkaway deadline that they're required to go ahead and actually fund the base pay. So we're looking at sometime in July funding of the base pay. Then there's going to be paperwork that's necessary, releases, closing statements, all this stuff needs to be put together, and then we can start actually getting money to our clients. Then what will follow is submissions for enhanced pay awards. Those will be considered by the Garden City Group out throughout the fall, and then those payments will start in the late fall of 2015. One thing that I did discuss with everybody that I thought was a great part of this settlement was the Future Award Program. It's unheard of in settlements for a defendant to actually settle a case, pay the money, a release to be signed. Essentially, the case is over, but they allow the plaintiff to continue for a period of time to make claims if bad things happen to them. It's unheard of, but it is present in this case. I was just on the phone last night with a woman who is going to qualify for a base pay award, enhanced payments, and she is also going to qualify for a future payment. So she's going to get 3 different payments. What happened in her case, just as an example, is that she had her revision surgery. This is all in the past. Revision surgery, 3 dislocations, all in the past. The base pay she will get for the revision surgery. She'll get paid for her 3 dislocations. And just last Friday, she dislocated again. They relocated her hip. Unfortunately, she doesn't get paid for the 4th dislocation because that's excluded. The 4th dislocation, or any more than 3, is excluded in this deal. But she's headed back to surgery for the placement of a constrained liner to keep her from dislocating more in the future. That will qualify because her last open surgical procedure was less than 2 years ago. That will qualify for an additional award in this settlement program for that lady. So far, the program as we saw it when it was being negotiated seems to be bearing out almost exactly the way we anticipated or envisioned it would when we entered into this deal. People are happy with the base pay award. People are getting enhanced award payments so that the average payment is in excess of $300,000, and people are currently, as we speak, qualifying for future awards. So I'm really, really happy with how this is working out, and I think the clients are as well.